So let's go through the idea of editing a notebook, in particular deleting items. So if I go back to my notebook, I can add sections to my notebook, but I can't delete them. I can rename them, that's fine, but I can't delete any sections. The only way I can sort of do that is offline in OneNote. So I'm going to choose my Year 7 version and open that in OneNote. Now notice when we opened up OneNote, we still have the last set of notebooks that we had. Again, we need to be very careful, because if we're deleting things from similar items, we could accidentally make a mistake. So I'm going to shut that one down. The little spinning green icon tells me that the changes are being synced. So looking, we have got absolutely nothing in these libraries whatsoever. So I'm going to try to add a student and a teacher, well, mainly a student, to the library. So if I go back to Manage Notebooks, whoops, too far. If I choose Add or Remove Students, it's going to give me which notebooks I want to add my students to. This would be really nice if it linked with Sims and you could just type in the name of your set and it populate it. It doesn't. You have to put them in one at a time. So I'm going to put student 1 into my Year 7 area. So I've just clicked on Add a Student. All you need to do is type student or the name of the student, and you get a list showing. So you can pick them from a list and keep doing that until you filled the set. Really annoying, but there's no way around it at the present time. Maybe there'll be an easier way in the future of adding an entire group. That's something that I will look into. So if I click next, it's saying it's added one student, student 1, and I can click update. Okay, so I've just added one student to my notebook. There we go. So if I open the class notebook online, we should see that student appear in the left-hand pane. There we go. So I've got student 1. Clicking on student 1, he or she has got all the sections that we set out for them. So that's how to add a student. Let's take a look at it in Notebook. Now, it hasn't appeared in Notebook at the moment, but we can tell the computer to sync straight away by clicking on the little green icon. It brings up this window. Now, this window is all important. If we make changes and want to delete something, then we really need to click Work Offline so that we can perform all the deletions that we want to do. And when we've finished doing all the deletions, then sync. If we don't do that, as we're deleting things, it's syncing and putting things back in that we have deleted. It can be very frustrating all the time. Anyway, going back to what I was saying, we've got Year 7, we don't have our student. If I click on sync now, hopefully we'll get student 1 appear with all the items in there. It certainly isn't a fast process. There we go, we've got student 1. So how do I get rid of, like I said, student 1 or any student who may move groups? Unfortunately, I haven't seen anything which will allow you to take the student's work. You may copy and paste it. So maybe you can move the student to another group first, make them copy and paste all of their work, and then delete them from your original group. There is no take student 1 from this group and paste them into another one at the moment. I will look into that. It could just be a case of copying from here and pasting into another book that may be open. So anyway, as I was saying, to delete student 1 from this group, if I choose to work offline, if I right click on student 1, I can now choose delete, or I can delete the sections. So I'm choosing to delete student 1. Student 1 has now gone, okay, but student 1 still appears in the online version. So turning back on the syncs and clicking on sync now, and hopefully what will happen is that student 1 will disappear from here and not appear here. And there we go, completely the opposite way round. Student 1 again appeared back here. So this can be a really frustrating process of deleting students or deleting work. And again, do them one at a time. If you do a great many, then the chances are this will just hang and the syncing will go to pot. So let's try closing down the Year 7 notebook altogether and just stay in OneNote. Let's go through the process again of working offline, deleting what we don't want, and this time instead of choosing the sync, instead of choosing sync automatically, if we just click on sync now, it's still syncing, but we're not doing it automatically whenever there's any changes. We can turn this back on later. If we don't turn this on, things are going to be a little bit different between your two versions. And we still have student 1. Delete again. Another option would be to click on this green button here. So as you can see, actually deleting things is quite a traumatic experience. So I've given it enough time to think about it. I'm going to sync this, and hopefully student 1 will not reappear here. So this time it's synced. Student 1 hasn't appeared. I am going to open the notebook for Year 7. And there we go. Student 1 does not appear here. So we finally deleted student 1 from the notebooks. Returning to the offline version, don't forget to put sync automatically when there are changes. This will impact on all of your notebooks. So that's the trauma of actually trying to delete something, sections, so trying to take out the topics or what have you, or an entire student. It can be a painful process. We really need to do it offline in OneNote. We need to make sure that we're working offline. Delete what we want one at a time. Try not to delete lots of things. It will just hang the computer, and then sync as you go. So that could be rather a lengthy process. So beware of that one. Give it time so that, well, don't forget to close down the OneNote Online so that it's not regenerating the details here. And then check once you finish that both of them have the deletions that you want. Best of luck with that.